let's be clear what the title of this hearing should be. It should be called Gaslighting Americans About Gas Prices. In July of 2019, when asked if there would be a place for fossil fuels in his administration, candidate Biden responded, no, we would make sure it's eliminated. In January of 2020, when asked about stopping new pipeline infrastructure, candidate Biden responded, yes, yes. In February of 2020, candidate Biden stated, we are going to get rid of fossil fuels. In March of 2020, candidate Biden said no more drilling on federal lands, no more drilling, including offshore, no ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period, ends. In October of 2020, candidate Biden stated it has to be replaced by renewables over time. In October of 2020, candidate Biden said no fracking and or oil on federal land. And in order to prove that his words were not just campaign rhetoric, on the day of his inauguration, President Biden killed the Keystone XL pipeline and halted oil and gas leasing on federal lands. And in February of 2021, President Biden inflated the social cost of carbon to justify more regulations of fossil fuel production. On March 2nd of 2021, Democrats, including some on this committee, introduced a bill to increase the cost and time of oil and gas production on federal land. And on March 19th of 2021, Democrats introduced a bill to place an excise tax on American energy companies to produce oil and gas. April 1st of 2021, Democrats proposed a national carbon tax on oil, gas, and their byproducts. And on June 1st, 2021, President Biden proposed a budget that would increase taxes on U.S. energy producers by at least $35 billion. August 11th, 2021, President Biden asked foreign operators in OPEC, not domestic producers, to increase supply to address rising gas prices. On October 29th of 2021, President Biden and congressional Democrats, again, some on this very committee, proposed a methane tax on U.S. oil and gas production. November 17th, 2021, President Biden tried to redirect the blame from rising gas prices by requesting that the FTC investigate oil and gas companies on trumped-up accusations of illegal activity. On February 17th of 2022, President Biden's FERC chairman pushed through changes making it next to impossible to build or upgrade pipeline infrastructure by requiring both upstream and downstream carbon mitigation plans before permits would be approved. On March 12th of 2022, Democrats who seemingly missed the president's memo requesting energy companies increase production introduced a bill that would implement a massive new tax, destroying any incentive for U.S. producers to produce more oil. And on March 21st, 2022, the SEC, in an attempt to morph into the Securities and Environment Commission, issued a proposal that would target carbon energy companies and empower activist shareholders. March 28th of 2022, President Biden, in the middle of an energy crisis, once again proposed a tax increase on domestic oil and gas producers totaling nearly $45 billion. And just last week, in the middle of all of this, asking for more investment in this industry, the FDIC chairman proclaimed that carbon-emitting sources of energy present risks to the safety of the financial system, further starving off capital to a domestic energy production that is needed. In short, this administration and Democrats in Congress have done everything they can to disrupt, delay, and defeat domestic energy production, and then gaslight the American public by blaming producers for not immediately investing billions of dollars into the industry in which you are trying to destroy. So I have a couple questions for Mr. McMasters, and then I will end. Mr. McMasters, do you think our allies in Europe would like cheap, affordable American energy during what is going on right now?
Absolutely.
Do you know of any way to export renewable energy?
Yes, I mean the actual, and of course you guys know that I'm an advisor to Sempra Energy, which has LNG export capacity. But I mean, really, it is LNG exports that allows us to escape this dilemma of energy security or CO2 reductions, and allows us to make up, for the gaps in energy supply that Russia is using for coercive purposes.
I agree with you on LNG. Let me be more clear. Do you know of any way to export either wind or solar energy?
No, not on wind or solar, but the question is going to be battery capacity, the ability to store it. And there are some, advanced ideas out there about using cables that could go across the oceans and so forth. But those are very far into the future.